Alright, so I have no structure for this video. I just wanted to get on here and talk and just say, like, dude, I love MMA YouTube. This is where all the hardcores live. This is where all the hardcore opinions are had. All the best discourse about the sport is held on MMA YouTube. But what I do is I make long form content on this channel, and then I chop up the videos into like maybe videos up to like a minute and a half in length, and then I upload them as short form content to YouTube Shorts, which I always get good interactions and engagement there. And then Instagram Reels, which you can connect your like Threads profile and then also your Facebook account to that. So I get to post to 3 platforms in one there. And then also to TikTok. And man, lately TikTok and Instagram, and sometimes I'll get on to Twitter and I'll check out what they're talking about over there, but I stay off of Twitter for my own reasons. But dude, those platforms are like the worst for talking fighting. They're horrible. People just want to prove that they're so much smarter than everybody else whenever it comes to talking about fights. There's no middle ground in discussions about fighting whenever coming to, especially like TikTok or Instagram. Instagram is probably the worst. Like, that's the most elitist. All for people to just be wrong about their takes and to swear that they're right. And there's groupthink that comes into play here. A bunch of people just reaffirming their own biases amongst conversations with other like-minded people. And that's the nature of the internet anyways. But we are not even getting past surface level discussions or just memes at this point. Everything is just a meme. Nothing is like seriously being spoken about. A tragedy happens in the community. It's just a punchline. People want to politicize everything. People speak about fighting as if they've had these 30-year careers in MMA whenever they're just couch jockeys. It's crazy, dude. And I just wanted to just give my 2 cents on some of the things that I've been seeing. And I'll have visual references here as I'm talking about all of it. But it blows my mind the type of things that I've been engaging with on the internet lately. The first thing is a post. I saw this from the Homo Fight on Instagram. And it was talking about how Keita, you've probably seen this video. Keita approached Patricio Pitbull in the back rooms while he was cutting weight, and he was like, yo, I'm not sweating anymore. We should do a catch weight. Patricio Pitbull, still take this fight, please, and let's do a catch weight. And Patricio Pitbull's like, no, dude. You signed on to fight with me at 145 pounds. I'm not going to go up to 150 pounds, 148 pounds, go to lightweight. This is my career, too, that you're messing with, because if I lose this fight, I just got a little bit of respect from people over the Ige win. Everyone thought I was a bum in a can whenever I lost to Yair. Take a hike. And that's a completely valid point. There's no reason for him to take this fight. It's him giving this guy a shot and doing him a favor. Whenever nobody did Patricio Pitbull a favor, including the UFC organization, as they're having him fight this guy with big KO power from another organization who he can earn a name off of, as Patricio Pitbull is just now building a name for himself in the UFC. I don't know why you even have to explain why he's not taking this fight. But you go into the comment sections of posts like this and you see stuff like, Patricio the Chihuahua should have taken the fight. And then another guy right under him talking about, Pitbull is a coward. Keita even offered his purse, acting like a few pounds is going to make a difference. I've never even cut weight for a competition, as I've never competed, but I've sparred before. I'm like 170 to 180 pounds at any given moment on those mats. And if I spar a guy who's like 200 pounds, 190 even, I'm going to feel that extra weight. People who have never fought don't understand how this works. There's a reason why weight classes exist and why it's so important that everyone is making weight. And then under those two, we get a comment that's saying, this guy is making an actual sensible point here. And he's talking about, I guess he's talking about Patricio Pitbull. Patricio Pitbull can take life-changing damage, ain't worth fighting a guy weighing several pounds over. And this is the voice of reason in the comment section, but he's never going to get as many likes as a dude talking about Patricio Pitbull is a coward, making a joke about the fact that he calls himself one dog, which is like a big scary dog, and liking it to a little dog that's not scary. Like, that guy is not going to get as many likes as a dude just trying to be clever. It just feels like everyone's getting rage baited online. I hate rage bait, dude. This rage baiting era, it's like internet culture is dying because of it. It's killing internet culture. And that's not even like a secret. If you've been engaging in any type of space, guys don't even have serious ideas that they share with people anymore. They're just trying to piss off people who literally like the same thing as them. Like, this is just such a net negative for our community. Nobody benefits from these types of discourses happening. So I go on to Twitter and I'm like, okay, so maybe there's a varying opinion based off of what we've seen, you know, and what's going on Instagram. Maybe it's not the same across the board. Let's go look at what they're saying on Twitter. This guy who has MMA in his handle is talking about, and like a custom profile picture as well with MMA in it. Like this guy's trying to build a brand around like having takes about fighting. He says, he doesn't even look drained. Pitbull was right to say no, you had an extra hour too. I agree with the last two statements that he made. Pitbull was right to say no. He did have an extra hour to cut those pounds, but bro, the guy is like completely sunken in. There's no way that he can cut 3 more pounds off of the frame that he's displayed in this video. He is skin and bones. He should be fighting at lightweight. He's double champion in Octagon MMA, featherweight, and lightweight. And that's literally like the top comment is that this guy saying that he didn't even look drained. And like, yeah, he totally did. He totally did. So yeah, yesterday we got done watching the Contender series, right? Steven Asplund, he fought with that Guarascio guy. The Guarascio guy, he lost, and it was in 16 seconds. Whenever heavyweights come out to fight, we know that this is the least technical weight class because they're so large. If you want the best technique, you watch flyweights. Little guys, they have the best skills. But it's still nice whenever they go for it, because I'd rather watch a 16-second KO no matter how it looks in a stinker between 2 blobs, right? This guy in the Instagram comment section responding to the clip, which, I mean, the entire fight fits into one Instagram reel. This man has the gall to say something like, not impressive at all. They just went out there throwing slobber knockers and his landed first. No skill was displayed here. Again, top comment, 1,200 likes. What are you actually expecting from these heavyweight fighters? Like, are you expecting a scissor sweep? Are you expecting a Mauricio Hoofy feinted lead hook into a spinning back kick? What do you want from these guys? They're blobs. They have power and big frames. We want to see knockouts. They gave us a knockout and you're still complaining. This dog thinks that they're not skillful enough. And by like his own metric, which is like, dude, who are you? Who are any of these people? Thank God we had a guy right under him talking about you watching from the couch, humble yourself. I mean, bro, that's facts. No matter how you think this looks, like we're on the couch eating potato chips talking about, oh wow, this guy, they don't look technical. It just hurts my brain, dude. It's like, who gave this person the authority to be like the arbiter of what is and is not a good fight? On the basis of just having watched the sport and likely never trained. And that's my thing. It's like, whenever you do actually start training, it was like a month and some change of just getting my ass beat every single day by guys who had been training for longer than me before like I actually learned how to fight. Whenever you get in there and you put on the gloves for the first time and the shin guards and you start kickboxing, even if you have a foundation from watching a lot of MMA or you play UFC 5 or whatever it is, you're gonna suck, dude. And you're going to look stupid trying to emulate what you think is high-level fighting because you just don't know it yet. You don't have the reps. Kobe had to shoot in the gym for 10,000 hours in order to consistently make free throws. You got to like do that same type of repetitions in order to be able to make your kickboxing combinations look slick, your hand combos look good. You have to see fighters at the highest level firsthand do these types of things in sparring with other high-level combatants. It's not enough to just watch the sport. And then another guy, like, just making these absolute takes. Dog is talking about throwing slobber knockers and then no technique going into this, and Asplund just landed first. And then this guy's talking about, have you seen the existing heavyweight division? LOL, they all do the same thing, including Aspinall. And Aspinall, we pride him for moving like a lightweight and for having reactivity. Have you seen the way that he got up and dodged a punch from Volkov at the same time? He definitely is displaying a higher level of skills on average than other 265ers. And this guy just like, it just fits his narrative for the sake of this discussion, so he'll just lie. And people will agree because they don't have Fight Pass or any way to fact check. And if they did have either Fight Pass or access to the internet where they could look up highlights for these fighters that they're making these absolute claims over, they won't do it. Because it just doesn't suit their argument for the sake of the discussion that they're having at the current moment. And that's my problem with this, dude. Is it's like, we're just talking to talk. And it's like, dude, if it really means that much to you and you like your opinions you feel are so valuable, start your own channel. Put MMA in the handle and then start uploading content like I'm doing it right now. Because otherwise, you're just a guy in a comment section just chatting. And like, what do any of our opinions matter, really? It's kind of like a voting system where your take is validated by having a lot of likes. But dude, I'm telling you, that's not even a metric for like what is and what is not a good take. Especially in MMA, where the outcomes are so random. It's like you could swear to God you're right about something and be just dead wrong, or just have your really bad opinion reaffirmed by people with surface level knowledge, like no deeper than what you have whenever you made that claim. That just straight up doesn't even make sense sometimes. And you know me, I literally think that Gian Silva is going to beat Diego Lopez this weekend. But I mean, just as people are glazing Diego Lopez on the basis of the fighting nerds taking a string of losses lately, they're going the other way with it, and they're putting Gian Silva on this like unbelievably high pedestal without him having many accolades to go off of either. I mean, I think that the Drew Dober win was good. I think that Charles Jourdain is good. Kevin Bachejos was a guy who Gian Silva got his UFC contract off of, beating him by decision whenever people say that he can only finish fights, and that's the reason why Diego Lopez is going to beat him, is because he's going to have better pacing over the course of 5 rounds. But I would never say something like, Gian would beat every lightweight or featherweight except for Max Holloway and Arman Tsarukyan. He beats Ilya too. That's just loud and wrong. Like, you're just wrong. That's not true. And he has no way of proving that. That's just what he thinks. And people agree with it, not to a high degree, but he still gets likes and affirmation. And then the guy below him is talking about house on Lopez. And it's like, there's 2 more things that I'm going to talk about. The first thing is going to be gambling. And we'll visit our friend Matty Betts in a post that he made about that heavyweight fight that we were just discussing earlier, Asplund versus Guarascio on Dana White's Contender Series. Matty Betts said that he lost 20,000 in 16 seconds betting on Guarascio, who was unfortunately KO'd by Asplund in that fight. This is why I never bet. This is not a betting channel. And people in the comment sections, they twist the knife. They say, plot twist, start bet opposite of his picks. And then another guy said, need to rest. And then another guy said, I went to tell you and accidentally put round 1. For once, my F-up worked in my favor. I'm not even sure what that means. A lot of this is just incoherent. And then another guy just said, ha ha ha, you don't win all the time, bro. You ain't expert. You're just like us. And these are just comforting thoughts for them. It's like, haha, yeah, the betting insider doesn't know anything more than I do. Casual. And it's like, dude, maybe you guys are all casuals for betting on this sport instead of like just enjoying it for the outcomes and for making your predictions based off of skill versus skill and not who has the best value on the money line. Maybe that makes all of the people who bet casuals. And like, that's kind of my opinion at this point, because it's like especially about the Gian Silva stuff versus Diego Lopez, if they're not getting political with it, which is another thing that I'm going to discuss here in a second, they're just talking about money line. That was the only reason for some people choosing Johnny Walker in China, whenever like on paper it made no sense for him to win that fight. And that's just a testament to how random and nonsensical our sport is, that Johnny Walker can go into China and beat Mingyang Zhang, who's white hot off of a win streak where he's stopping all of his opponents with the leg kick TKO. And Johnny Walker is a guy with a crumble cookie chin, and he can get knocked out, and that's been proven in the past. That's not supposed to happen, but it does, because we're talking about MMA here. They're throwing 4-ounce leathers inside of a steel cage. Anything can happen. The next part of this is just going to be how politicized MMA is. And it's hard not to politicize the sport just because, I mean, we're talking about fighters representing different nationalities, right? You could easily assume that things would get conflated as far as people pledging allegiance to certain ideologies and political beliefs that make them either align or go against certain fighters. I saw this post not too recently, though, and it was talking about how Khamzat Chimaev explains why he isn't interested in fighting in the United States. He doesn't want to fight in America anymore. Khamzat Chimaev says, no, I don't want to fight in America anymore. I want to fight in the UAE, bro. You make more money there. That's my country. I represent that country. The best country in the world, so I'm always happy to fight there. And then we got a guy up at the top of the comment section talking about, I mean, it's not like the top comment on the basis of likes, but as far as interactions go, yeah, it's most interacted with comment. He said, calling any Muslim country the best country in the world is laughable at best. And it's like, bro, I'm not here to say one way or the other, because I really don't care. But I mean, it's not like the USA isn't without its problems too. We see that like public transport and like speaking at public events in Utah isn't even a safe thing to do anymore. It's just, what are we even... I don't even know what to think about those types of comments whenever I see them. And yeah, you know, it's just going to be a bunch of like Muslim dudes in the replies just defending their countries, right? Because like, and that's just it's just creating further cycles of just politicizing this sport. I just want to see people get knocked out. I don't care about any of this. This guy who's breaking down Gian Silva versus Diego Lopez. He's loading up the Diego Lopez hype train, talking about how the underdog betting lines are all messed up and they should be more in favor for Diego Lopez off the basis of, I don't even know what he's accomplished. I've talked about it. I don't think that Diego Lopez's resume is that good. But he liked this comment, which he put up to the top. It was the only comment he liked. He basically pinned it if it's the only comment that he liked. And he said, I think Silva wins, but I hope Lopez sleeps that Zionist. Okay, bro, like, who cares? Who cares? Like, and we just love to pick and choose, right? Because we all love Charles Oliveira, and he totally walked out with the Hebrew sash on before he fought Arman Sarukian. And it's like, that's our boy still, right? Who cares? I don't care. And this content creator who made this post is talking about, I try not to get into a fighter's personal life, but the Zionist thing I can't get past. Not a fan of Silva because of it. What about his fighting style? What about not liking Gian Silva because of his defensive openings or his technical breakdowns in certain positions in the cage? Or not liking his finishing instincts based off of certain nuanced things that you notice as an analyst of the sport? No. He likes Israel, and I don't like Israel, so I don't like him. I don't like Gian Silva. It's like, bro, I don't know how else to put it. It's just, like, we just got a bitch-ass sport. If that's really, like, what constitutes people not liking certain fighters, instead of, like, actually watching the events, and that all it takes is for, like, a bet to make more sense for one guy, for you to pick him over another dude, because you think he's good value on a money line. Like, bitch-ass sport, bro. Like, absolutely bitch-ass sport. If politics and money are the things that, like, sway people's opinions on the outcomes of these events, we're cooked, bro. Like, we're absolutely cooked. And then, like, the other areas of, like, the depravity on this, like, this app, dude, just complete degeneracy on, like, one side of it as well. There was this post that was made, and it was talking about, I mean, it was the video of Islam Makhachev getting slumped by Adriano Martins. And the video plays, Islam gets knocked out. The caption of the video is, Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov died thinking Islam was a bum. And it's like, what if somebody did that to you? Because, like, we've all lost people at this point. If you've lived any substantial portion of your life, you've encountered loss. Imagine if somebody brought up something like that. Like, bro, if you are a pro athlete of any kind, you just gotta stay off this thing, bro. It's evil. Why are we talking about these dudes' deads, bro? Like, dead relatives, like, people who they wish that they could just hug and, like, be with, bro. And no matter how you feel, you're gonna lose your father one day. I'm gonna lose my father one day. And imagine, bro, I would crash if somebody brought up my dad like this. Like, or a mentor figure that was like my dad. Because I know that Habib and Islam are cousins. But Abdulmanap was everybody's boy in that entire group. He made all of them. And dudes in the comment sections are talking about, like, and here we go with this by the way stuff. Hugo Topuria gets touched by his dad, by the way, sort of like Strickland's situation. Why are we even talking about this? Why are these discussions even being had? And then dudes in the comment section talking about what a huge honor for Hugo, fire emoji, and then I wish I was Hugo. It's like, what is wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with this fan base, this community? Like, we got serious problems here. And then don't even get me started about, like, we got, like, Dana Black, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, dude. Like, it was funny for a little bit, but now I'm just kind of, like, I'm kind of over it. Because, like, he just be getting hella elaborate with these degenerate posts, man. Let me read you a couple of these, like, captions. It's always super drawn out. I don't even want to read all of it half of the time, because it's literally, like, a whole dissertation on the screen. And then, like, some, like, goofy clip of him doing something with a voiceover. Me, when I become a full-time MMA journalist and I investigate Benoit Saint-Denis' involvement in the 2021 Bounty airstrike that slimed out 22 civilians during the Mali War. But then Fine Shite calls me while I'm researching, and instead of hearing her angelic voice, I'm greeted with Benoit Saint-Denis telling me in fluent French that he sliced her throat and that he's going to destroy everything I've ever loved the same way he did to those civilians. Now I'm running outside to warn all my friends that just pulled up to run in separate directions as fast as they can to minimize the casualties the Predator missile will cause. And it's a video of him running out of a building and then a Call of Duty Predator missile kill streak, like the gameplay footage of that being used. And there's like French rap over the entire video. And it's like, dude, I feel like I've gotten dumber just having read that out loud. I feel like my IQ has actually been reduced by like 1 or 2 points by repeating that out loud. Like, dude, it doesn't even make any sense. And all this is doing is just kicking up dirt on Benoit Saint-Denis, who like people vaguely know about being in the French Special Forces, right? And he put a disclaimer there talking about this video isn't meant to start a witch hunt on Benoit Saint-Denis. But people in the comment sections they're like, oh, did he really commit war crimes? And the dudes in like the top comment of this video is talking about, I learned today that Benoit Saint-Denis has committed war crimes. It's like, no, he didn't. This is just misinformation on the internet. And it's like, imagine if people did this to you. And this is like supposed to be the cutting edge journalism of the sport. Or the big personalities that we leave up to the fans to elect. It's like, dude, we have problems, bro. We have serious problems. If this is how we're getting our kicks in 2025. It's not like the subject matter is boring to the point where we need to fabricate and cook these types of stories. We get to watch people get knocked out every single Saturday. So why do we feel the need to do this type of stuff, dude? It's just weird, bro. Weird and peculiar behavior. Another one here talking about me when I let Francis Ngannou crack my wife, but I don't consider the fact that energy is transferred when two people crack. So now all of Francis's manipulative, selfish, and greedy tendencies are transferred to my wife. And I have an emotional breakdown because I now understand how Dana White and Don Davis feel and realize they were right about Francis all along. Again, I just feel stupid right now. I feel stupid having read that. Like, I just feel dumb. I hope that nobody is home and heard that. And again, I mean, like, I guess this could be seen as like a form of politicization here. One of the comments that was left, it's not even the top comment. I mean, it's very interacted with. You're either the top comment on Instagram posts on the basis of you having a lot of likes or a lot of interactions. And this guy got a lot of interactions. And he said that Dana Black MMA is like the black but white MMA incel. And that's true, bro. Like, this guy literally is putting the Crackstreams MMA chat on a loudspeaker. And I've had this opinion for a long time that like the meth streams, Crackstreams, that chat, that's the MMA community. That's like the purest, most unadulterated form of the MMA community. The MMA fandom is the meth streams chat. It's the Crackstreams chat. It's the Streamies chat. Those names that are there, if Instagram did not TOS people who can make their names these types of things, or if there was, God forbid, a way for that stream to exist on those platforms, we'd see the same comments in like those comment sections. Whenever they do the live events for like the 319 press conference, it was the same thing. It's just the Crackstreams chat. So that's the reason why I hate like the politicization of certain issues in this fandom, is because those are the opinions that people have. The prevailing ideas that come out of these comment sections are the same dudes who are just putting a bunch of hateful things in the Crackstreams chat. Every single time. That's our community. And so, I mean, bro, I honestly have been feeling kind of bummed out about interacting with MMA spaces on the internet. I've been feeling like kind of like isolated from the rest of it, just because I don't think that shit's funny, bro. And like, I'm just here to watch some fights. And it feels like everybody else is just here to do some other shit and to like push their own agendas, which is weird, bro. It's just weird. And it's the same guys who are having just really bad takes in general. It's either racist or like provocative from like a social context where people can get behind it because they're degrading Jews or Indians, or it's just a absolute room temperature take. I saw a couple of posts. This one that says, POV, you hear a MF give the worst UFC take ever, but you can't say anything because you don't know them like that. And it's like a LeBron meme, right? The top comments on this post were literally anyone who still thinks about Khabib. Prime Dustin, Prime Gaethje, Prime Conor. Those are good wins. He deserves to be mentioned in people's top 10 at least greatest fighters of all time. And that's lowballing him. These are just objective facts. He never lost in the promotion and had, before Islam Makhachev, the greatest run at that weight class, which is like historically known as the most competitive weight class. I don't even know why you have to make the case for Khabib. It's just because his fans are annoying. and people just want to get under their skin. That's rage bait. People talking about Reyes didn't beat Jones. It's like it's easy to hate John Jones in 2025, so that guy got a lot of interactions for that comment. And then a dude talking about Dana is a great boss. It's like, well, considering the fact that you probably worked under him for 15 years, I'm sure that your opinion means a lot whenever it's coming to that. Literally, as far as this whole Dana thing, it's all down to just the things that we perceive. We don't know anything to be facts other than what's revealed to us. And do you think that we know more about what goes on in the UFC versus what doesn't go on? There's probably so much stuff that we're just always going to be in the dark on. And they have really good security there as far as like information goes. There's not a whole lot of like leaks that make it outside of that company as far as information that we get that we weren't supposed to get. The only time that happens is whenever fighters or journalists divulge information early, like Ariel Helwani with the Brock Lesnar return, right? Whenever fighters or coaches of fighters get on their Instagram and blab about matches that are in the works, or these guys' managers, we learn about fights being made before they get finalized that way. But yeah, dude, let's just gang up on Dana, bro. The guy who literally put this whole thing together and is the reason why we get to watch fights every weekend. He sucks so bad. And we want him gone, and we don't want the UFC to be a thing anymore because he's attached to it. Let's all just go watch PFL and go on strike, you know? It's like, no, nobody's willing to do that. So do you really hate Dana White if you're going to tune into his broadcasts of his promotion every weekend? I'd say that you're actually quite fond of him, whether you want to admit it or not, because you enjoy the UFC, and your favorite MMA fighters are UFC fighters. This is my thing, bro. You can have whatever opinion you want as far as that goes, but like, just stand on business, bro. If you don't like Dana White, don't watch his promotion. But nobody's willing to do that, right? Nobody's willing to do that. And it's funny because whenever people are like, yeah, Dana White sucks, he should be gone, people feel that way. And then on the other hand, they'll be like, yeah, well, Dana White isn't involved anymore, and he's not involved enough, and he's more involved in boxing. And Sean Shelby and Hunter Campbell and Mick Maynard, those are the guys who are really pulling the strings in 2025. So which one is it? Do you want him gone? Do you want him more involved in the UFC? Well, people don't even know how to feel, or they can't even make their minds up on how they feel about Dana White, but they still watch the UFC. So it's like, dude, shut up, man. Just shut up. Another guy talking about, like, when they say Pereira has a better career than Izzy, and then he puts like a laughing cat emoji and a skull emoji, like he just fried, bro. Like, yeah, unbelievable that some people have that opinion. It's like, yeah, Pereira actually went up to 205 and became a double champ and defended his belt. And he didn't defend the 185 strap, but it's a miracle of God that he was even able to make 185 for all the fights that he did make 185. And he never missed weight at that weight class. And that guy got ratioed by a dude talking about, yeah, Pereira actually does have a better career, because he does. If you look at the title defenses of freaking Israel Adesanya, they all aged like milk, dude. They're not good. Pereira has great wins, bro. He's beaten Israel Adesanya, who beat all the guys that he beat at 185 and dominated that division for like damn near 4 years. And then he dominated 205 until Magomed Ankalaev just recently took the strap off of him. And he has the opportunity to get the belt back in a rematch. It looks like Izzy is done, and Pereira, like, he still has the ability to keep going. I mean, not for much longer, because he's like 37 and he's getting up there. Doesn't seem to be as like locked in as he was whenever he first showed up on the scene. He's made a lot of money. But people speaking in absolutes again over things they have no way of proving, or things that they do have a way of proving, but they just have their biases, and so they don't see reason. Really annoying, dude. Like, I don't like it. This video of Renato Moicano dropping Islam Makhachev, or dropping him, you know, he's forced to slip out of Islam Makhachev by landing a hook on the guard of Islam as his feet weren't set, and so he fell down. The caption of this video is, Ilya gonna eat low bro. The top comment is, account located in India, in parentheses, and then like one of these pointing emojis, and then like a crying laughing emoji. And then the one right under it is, well, well, well. And it's an Indian flag in the middle of each well. It's like, dude, why don't you just call him out for having a bad take, instead of like attacking his lineage and his heritage and where his family is from? What place do these discussions have whenever we're talking about who's going to win a fist fight inside of a cage? I don't get it, bro. I don't understand. Like, we've lost the plot. We've lost the plot so bad. It feels like there needs to be like a comet or a meteor that falls from the sky and destroys MMA TikTok, MMA Instagram. Leave MMA YouTube alone. It's beautiful. MMA YouTube is beautiful. Thank God for the fact that this space exists. But all the other places, man, get rid of those spaces, those spheres where people are talking about fights and saying things like Pantoja equals Jose Aldo, and that Pantoja just Jose Aldo style perfectly adapted, which is not true. Completely different fighters. People are like, if Jose Aldo had a granite chin and S tier grappling, he would be the perfect fighter and just like Pantoja. Like, those are just minor differences that make them more similar than not. The fact that Pantoja is more durable and has grappling to rely on instead of just really good stand-up makes him completely different fighters. And that's not a good take to say that they're the same. And then that same comment is talking about Topuria as Conor McGregor. And no, he's not. Conor McGregor, no, he's not. There's similarities, but Conor McGregor was completely different than Ilia Topuria. Had an entirely different stand-up game, struck completely differently than Ilia Topuria does. I don't even need to explain this. And then right under it, people are talking about Pantoja as the greatest Brazilian fighter of all time. By the way, BTW. I said something stupid, but I said BTW afterwards, so that means it's true. And you can't argue with it, because I said BTW. Look, bro, I said BTW, so that means that my take is accurate. I can't, bro. I really can't do this anymore. I can't do it. That's the reason why I haven't been uploading that much, is because I just know that, like, if I have an opinionated video, I mean, obviously people are going to, like, have their opinions too, and they're entitled to that, but they're not going to want to talk about it. It's the problem, is that they don't want to talk about it. It's just like, okay, well, you don't feel the way that I feel about this, so therefore you're fucking retarded. And it's not even like, okay, well, I disagree, so let me try to see your end of things to why you would have this take that I just don't agree with. And that's the thing about it, is like, you come out with this outlandish take. Imagine how bad people would have cooked the guy who got on a webcam just like this one and Mike and was like, you know, I don't know, dude, Johnny Walker is going to beat Min Young Jong. With the track record of Walker and the track record of Jong, doesn't make any sense. But that's just the nature of our sport. Things that don't make sense happen all of the time. And whenever they do happen, you look like a genius whenever you took the road less traveled by. Benoit Saint-Denis beating Mauricio Hufi. Nobody saw that fight going that way. Nobody except for, like, Lucas Tracy, but he looked like an idiot picking Benoit Saint-Denis against Dustin Poirier before. And people never let him live that down until this fight happened. And then he's a genius, right? Because he picked Benoit Saint-Denis to beat Mauricio Hufi. And that was an unlikely outcome. People are just so focused on, like, money lines and, oh, hype. These guys are fighting nerds. They don't lose, man. They have plot armor. And these are just narratives that are reaffirmed by the media. And we're just getting cooked, bro. We're just getting cooked. We're getting brainwashed and brain rotted by just these memes that are like fast food, non-substantial, meant to grab our attention just for a little bit, and they make us dumber. They really do. And they reaffirm biases that we just shouldn't have. So that's my take on the whole thing. Please be a free thinker. That's the only thing that I compel my viewer base to do, is just to think independently about all of this stuff. However you feel about it, let those feelings be your own, uniquely. And I think that we'll be good that way. I think that everything is going to be fine if that's how we approach this. So please do like, comment, and subscribe if you made it to this point in the video. I will catch you fellas in the next one. Have a wonderful day. Peace out.